today. We're gonna let this be all about you guys. We're gonna take it to the crowd, so get your questions ready. And please give a warm round of applause to our first guest, the lovely Miss Suzie Plakson! And J.G. Hertzler! Another round of applause for J.G. for sticking around.
So technologically adept. Is it on? Is it on? Okay.
We can hear Suzie, right? Hi, everyone. We're going to take it right to the crowd and get some questions for you. You'll notice, scared me.
Have you ever been on a cruise? Have you been on a Star Trek cruise? I never have. So I have to do my own cruise sound.
Ding. Ding. We're about to depart from the whatever it is, you know. It's at 8 in the morning. Right? Did you ever hear that?
I honestly thought we had a technical issue there. That freaked me for a second. All right, we've got Bruce here in the crowd putting his hand up there. If you have a question, just raise your hand and we'll get the microphone to you. Don't be shy. Oh, it's Justin, the handsome one. Bruce has been replaced. All right, just stick your hand up and we'll go right to you with our questions from the audience.
Wait a minute. Justin who? What did you just do?
He's the guy who has the microphone and brings it to people.
Oh, was that clear to everyone?
No,
I completely missed it. Hold the microphone up. He's bringing that to you. Of course, you've done this before. I haven't. That's Justin. As he said, the handsome one.
Justin, the handsome one, is getting our first question of the day. Please stand up and speak loudly into the microphone. Thank you.
Hello. So Suzie, I was just wondering, was there a genuine chemistry between you and Michael Dorn on TNG? Because you did work quite closely with you.
Well, I will say this.
Well, why don't you read me an audio? I love Michael Dorn. I wouldn't want him to, whatever they did in that scene that, you know, cut my palm. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, not that kind of chemistry. Never that kind of chemistry. Loved him to pieces, though. That wasn't a very fruitful answer. I'm so sorry. I'm not nearly caffeinated enough. Who's next? You gotta keep it going. It's your interview show, guys.
We've got a question right over here to the left.
It's to both of you, actually. Since you had multiple roles on on Star Trek, obviously J.T. Hertzler on Deep Space Nine, which was your actual favourite?
Would you like to go first?
Please, ladies first. Ladies first.
The Q. I loved being a Q. For many reasons. Who is this? Someone? What is that other voice? Or am I the only one just hearing voices just in my head? Okay. It was the Q. It's feedback, right? Okay, got it. I'm sorry. Yes, so it was the Q in large part because it's a bit more my cup of tea. I'm sort of rabid for anything BBC, UK, period pieces, etc. So to me, the Q, the arrogance, the narcissism is in touch. I don't know, Noah Powerhouse for a while, so I loved that. And also I got to wear sneakers under the dress, so it made life very simple and comfortable.
That's an
And
excellent
you,
answer.
okay, geez.
Hearing whistles now.
Tired. Yeah. Other people talk.
This is perhaps the biggest, this is called the National Exhibition Center. Is that what the NEC stands for? And you've got this 16,000 enormous buildings. They're like the vehicular assembly building in Cape Canaveral. where they hold the Saturn V rocket, and you've got a stage right next to us saying the same thing. What the hell? Perhaps in America we have these things called walls.
We've got a question all the way in the back to the right.
Hello.
Hello.
Obviously on Star Trek, obviously your characters both had a great relationship with Worf. Off stage, what was your relationships like with Michael Dawn in
Terry,
real life?
he's a horrible human being. I can't talk about it without crying.
Absolutely true.
Very good, he's lovely.
More questions from the crowd? Just put your hand up, we'll come right to you. Justin is running.
I forgot I didn't answer my...
Get right there. You know, why don't you come to me here? Sometimes it makes things quicker. Here you go.
Hello. GG particularly, massive fan of your work, but also your writing. The 2 books you wrote for Deep Space Nine, or co-wrote for Deep Space Nine, are 2 of my favourites. Just wanted to ask, do you have another book in you to do with Star Trek that you would like to write?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you over the people to my immediate left. No, I heard. It's just very irritating. And after this question, I'm going to walk over there and say, turn the volume down, lad. The books. Of all the things I did on Star Trek, I was more proud of those books than I was anything else. So yes, I've written about 7 or 8 screenplays and gotten so very close, but nothing's gone to production. Things have been optioned for a few months and whatnot, but no, I haven't. Yes, I love to write. If I could do nothing else but write, I would love to write. And paint. I draw and paint as well. And that would make me happy for the rest of my life. I also am doing a Mark Twain of late. I did a one-man show September 28th as the debut of the... So I'm going to be doing Mark Twain for the next 20 years as I see it. As long as I can keep walking, I'll do Mr. Twain. I mean, really.
Suzie was on a mission. We are going to make a note to the crew. Can we get someone to tell them to lower the volume, please, at the other stage? I'm sure that they can hear her because we certainly can't over here. So, all right, we've got a question. While they do that, please make a note to the crew, please. We've got a question right here to the left.
Hi. So I've always thought that it would be really fun, I don't know whether, having done it, you agree with this, to dress up in the full costume and prosthetics of a Klingon. I would love to do that. But I wondered, is there any similar kind of costume in a Star Trek production that you would like to dress up as that you've never had the opportunity to do?
Me. I think I'm okay.
No, you...
Go ahead. I was just going to say the prosthetics, much as I adore, and I really do, the notion of masking part of your face and then letting, it's sort of a filter, acting-wise, to let other emotions, etc., come through. But the physical toll that it takes to get there, for me, to get there at whatever, 4 in the morning and not get it off till 11 at night, etc. So I had to job and get paid handsomely for it. But to me, it just becomes so exhausting and all about the makeup that I'm good for the moment.
I can see it in my case. I mean, I love getting into the Martok makeup, but in Susie's case, really? You want to do anything to cover up any of this? I don't think so. You know. Well, it's absolutely true. It's absolutely true. that's why I have also a problem with the Disco Fairy, if they insist on printing it that way. You know, the makeup is not done by Michael Westmore. The Westmore family, correct me if I'm wrong, and if anybody has any more knowledge about this than I do, which I'm sure there are out there, the Westmore family has done makeup in Hollywood for 90 years, since the 1920s. And Michael Westmore did the makeup for Deep Space Nine, as well as, I think, Next Generation. But the DS9 had a lot of alien types. And he was, except for the Jem'Hadar, for instance, and Hirogens, which I was a Hirogen at one point, he was able to mold the prosthetics into your skin, onto your face, your bone structure, everything. The new show puts almost everybody that's an alien has to wear some sort of a complete headpiece that covers, you know, all the full face and the head down into the thing. And I don't buy it. I don't buy it. And you can quote me on that. I know I'm making a lot of enemies, but that's the way I feel about it. Respect must be paid to Michael Westmore and the Westmore family, because they made Klingons and Hirogen and all these aliens as if they existed on Earth. You know, people believe that these things are real. Well, of course we are real, but he made it so easy to accept as reality that was the secret of the makeup. And I just think they've lost that by not having, you know, Michael's probably he's got too much on his plate anyway, but still. Anyway, I feel that way.
And you know what, just to, I haven't seen the show, so I don't know that element of it, but just to praise Michael Westmore. Number one, truly, easily at the top of the nicest human beings I've ever encountered in Hollywood or anywhere else.
Absolutely
It's
true.
absolutely true. And, you know, usually I'd walk onto a set, whatever it was, and they kind of say, this is what you're going to look like, this is what you're going to do. Well, obviously they need to be prescriptive to a point. But when I went in for the Selar makeup, he had to do a big thing to get ready for the producers. And Michael, they gave him the teeth to give me. So the whole thing was done. He's the only makeup artist in anything I've ever done who allowed me to do my own beauty makeup, because he knew I was from the theater and I would understand my face more than any makeup artist. And so he would give me that respect, which was unheard of and so moving. But also, they gave me the teeth. We put the teeth in just before we go in, and tears jumped into my eyes because it just makes the whole thing hideous. And he said, nah, you look like Jerry Lewis. Give me him. And he just threw him away.
Yeah.
And he acted like, because somebody in the room said, oh, so she's not going to wear the teeth? He said, no, it didn't work out. And I mean, he just covered for me. And that was that. But so it's artistry that's there combined with a certain compassion and combined with a sense of aesthetics that's so much more specific and comes from years and years and years of doing it from scratch, you know, so.
I've got a question right here in the middle.
Hello there.
Hello.
Just before my question, I just want to say thank you to the both of you for how you were in photo booths yesterday. Both fabulous.
Aww.
You know, I gotta say, I was exhausted. I hadn't slept the night before at all, and it was a long day. But Suzie made me feel the same way. I sort of lived for that, to be able to sit into that makeup and sit in the chair and get photographed or with whatever, with people who love those characters. I mean, it's not me, it's Martok, and I understand that, and because I have great respect for him as well. But thank you. It's
A privilege.
It's a privilege. Perfect word.
Okay, my question actually follows on quite nicely from what you've just said. It's about Star Trek Online. Now, Suzie, I know you haven't done that, but JG, you have. So, JG, could you tell us about your experience of doing that? And Suzie, would you be interested in bringing back your characters where you don't have to wear any of the makeup and prosthetics?
Let him talk first, and then you may have to re-ask him that question.
Star Trek Online is a gaming, basically. It's a game that's online that everybody can play all over the world simultaneously. Is that right? Yes. And so you get to do basically your character or your avatar on screen, but it's voiceover. It's mostly all voiceover. Did I like doing it? Yeah, I love doing it. But the other thing is this. I used to run a Shakespeare festival in Northern California, and it was about 3 miles from the location of Cryptic Studios, which is where the sound recording for our voices are done, who are doing Star Trek Online. So it was home to me, because I did this back in the 80s. I ran this Shakespeare festival. And I just got off a panel with Michael Ensign, and he worked with the Royal Shakespeare Company, as Patrick Stewart worked with the Royal Shakespeare Company. And that is, to me, and probably to Suzie as well, the pinnacle of an actor's art is to work with the RSC. I mean, it's devoutly to be wished. And so, for me, working at Cryptic Studios to do Star Trek Online was going home for me, because I spent so many years doing Shakespeare outdoors in that same area. And the other part of that, Apple is also there. So Apple almost controls that whole area. And so we were able to get, when we were working in that area, we were able to get free Apple things, computers and peripherals and huge, and Steve Jobs would come and talk to us about, no, this is all lies. What I'm just saying is lies.
I was like, oh my God!
It's all lies, it's just in the same place. That's all. Anyway, did I answer it all?
It shows what a riveting actor you are, and how gullible I am. And I think the answer to your question is perhaps. For me.
Got a question all the way to the left here.
Hi, question for JG. You played notable Klingons in Deep Space Nine and in Enterprise.
Did you say multiple or notable?
I thought you said notable.
Notable.
Notable. Oh.
Notable.
Well, thank you very much. We'll talk afterwards. Yes.
I was wondering how you felt differently between the two captains, playing the Klingon opposite Cisco versus the Klingon opposite Archer.
Archer and Cisco, you're right, I played against 2 captains, right? I forgot about that. They both hold special places in my heart for 2 different reasons. Cisco, Avery, when I was doing one of the first episodes I did, I think this was part of Way of the Warrior, or maybe, no, it was Way of the Warrior. At one point, I had a long scene with Cisco. I had them in like Klingon jail. There were bars, and I was outside, free, lecturing Cisco inside, who was dressed as a Klingon, and made up as a Klingon, as if there was some duplicator somewhere that could instantly change people into Klingons. That was the motif. That was the thing that... Anyway, I was talking to Cisco here, between the 2 bars. Now, on television, have you ever had a jail scene?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you move like 1/2 of an inch to the left or the right, they can't see you because the bar has become in the middle of your face. So you have to keep it rigidly place your head and your eyes. And I had 2 eyes at that point. But meanwhile, Renee and O'Brien, Miles O'Brien, Colin, were way in the back, dressed as Klingons, and they were like children in a sandbox. You know, they were saying, oh, we're Klingons, we're scary now. Oh, look at us growling at each other and beat our chest. Oh. They were doing that as I had this incredibly long speech to Avery in the foreground. And in a jail scene where I couldn't move my head. And anyway, at some point, Avery turned around and said, "Gentlemen, there is a man working up here. Behave!" And they were like, like their hands were caught in a cookie jar, you know, wedged in. And for that, I am forever grateful to Avery for giving me a moment to be able to work. And that basically let me on to the show, that put me in there. What was the second thing? Oh, Scott. I worked with Scott on Quantum Leap 15, 16, 17 years earlier. And so we were like old friends. He didn't know me from Adam, but to me, I was an old friend. And we were talking backstage about jobs we had as actors before we got into paying work as actors. He was an electrician's helper, and I was a concrete, I did sidewalks and curbs, pouring concrete. So, meanwhile, we were on Royal Penthe, and we were carrying these huge blocks of mica, because that was the lithium crystal material, quote unquote, but it was mica, and they were very heavy. You know what mica is? No? It's just clear, flaky stone that it flakes off and it creates these like crystal-like. Anyway, it's the important thing is it's heavy as freaking lead, and we were hauling these in the caves of Royal Penthe. When they said, "Okay, action," they were very heavy. Otherwise, we were just shooting the shit backstage about what we did before we were getting paid for anything. But I love Scott. I love them both, and thank you for asking.
Hi, good morning. My question is to both of you. I'm interested to understand if you have a favourite episode. And also from the various roles that you've both played, which scene have you found most challenging to film or get part of?
I think my favorite episode is the Q in the Grave, for sure. The most challenging thing for me was the holiday. Because it took, for KLR, because it was so early in the morning. I think I was cast on a Friday, and on a Monday, I was supposed to be this fighting creature.
Yeah, well.
And, you just jump in. When you do a guest star on any show, it's kind of like jumping onto an already moving train. And you kind of got to land there in perfect balance, and then jump off, And so it was challenging. It was fun, but it was challenging in that it was so physically hilarious to me because I'm so not a warrior, and it was just suddenly I got so distracted. But I'm not. No, I'm so not.
I mean, look at her though.
No, but I'm so not. I'm really not. I'm actively, specifically not.
To me, you are.
Not.
My darling.
Not. But one of the things, the director, who directed me later, of whom I wasn't all that fond, I think JG would concur that so many TV directors, that so many TV directors are traffic cops and not really much more. But he was, there was all this, they had the stunt guy and woman doing all these things. And I said, listen, I can do quite a bit of it. But at a certain point, I remember they're all standing there saying, you don't look like you're being choked up a tree. And I said, well, I don't really have much context for being choked up a tree. Why don't you show me what it looks like? I mean, they were, because it was one of these things happening.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I was
Well, here, let me try it.
I was a kid who read, so I really wasn't. But, so it was just the kind of fight thing and also just not being remotely prepared for anything like it. But ultimately, it was kind of a blast. It really was. It was just exhausting, that's all. But there you go. So that's mine.
All I can say is I would cast you as the Red Sonja any day of the freaking week.
Standing still, maybe.
Doesn't matter. Good enough.
The question right in the middle. Hello.
Good morning. Firstly, I apologise for bringing a more somber note to this beautiful Sunday morning, but as we all know, the world recently lost Mr. Aaron Eisenberg, and one of the first things that I saw online after that happened was a Facebook tribute from yourself, JG. And whilst the characters of Martok and Nog might make for quite an unlikely pair of friends, I was wondering if you'd be able to shed some light on any happy memories of your friendship and relationship with Mr. Eisenberg.
I'm just going to go first because mine was very slight. I only encountered Aaron maybe twice, and it was darling. We didn't spend much time together at all. It was in this kind of context. It was just full of life and full of sweetness and warmth. But that was the extent of my knowing. I just know that everyone I know you about it.
No, it is because it was so chock full of life that it was so hard to believe, and even now it's not real. It's like I only got to see him. The show was 20 years ago, it ended. We've seen each other at conventions for the past 20 years, maybe twice or 3 times a year. And so to me, it's like I'll see him at the next convention. And maybe that's what it's like. Maybe that's what life is like. I'll see you at the next convention, Aaron. I'll be there. But he was coaching his son's soccer team. And I heard that he was in the hospital in critical condition, and I immediately called Melissa, who is every bit as much a part of the Star Trek family as Aaron was to everybody. And Melissa answered the phone because I had Aaron's phone number, so I called him to see. I said, well, maybe if he's not too bad condition in the hospital, he can actually answer a call. Well, he didn't answer. Melissa picked up, and she was beside herself.
I think the other part of the question was, to what extent is the studio and us involved in that kind of decision making?
Yeah, we're not involved in that kind of decision making.
We're pieces on a board.
Yeah, but maybe principals are. I don't know. Possibly. I have been. When I did Zorro, I was the bad guy, chasing Zorro every week. And we filmed in Spain. And if I was ever going to have an opportunity to suggest where my character goes, it would have been that. But I didn't really have. That wouldn't have been a possibility. Writers, our lives are largely dictated by writers because writers create the material on which our characters are based. And unless they write it down for us, we can only do so much. So I would suggest that when a film or television fails, it's not because of the actors, partially because of the directors, but mostly it's because of the writers. They aren't quite good enough. But Star Trek has lasted for 50-some years because the writers are out there and they're still creating great stories with social impact that are set in a science fiction situation, and that's hard to do. Anyway, thank you, writers. Thank you, Ron Moore. Thank you, Ira. Thank you, Robert Wolf. You know, thank you, Hans Beimler. All of them.
We've got time for one final question. It's going to be right over here to the left.
Good morning. I have a question for both of you about playing Klingons. Obviously, it's expected to be a big, brash, aggressive kind of character. But for yourselves, where did you get inspiration from for your characters? Is it an individual or a different character from another play or something you've been in that you kind of based your character upon?
Well, first off, Kayla was half-Klingon. So that mitigated a lot of things and also had an internal struggle just beautifully built in. I am, though I'm obviously a big fan of Star Trek fans, I'm not particularly a sci-fi person. Love science, love fiction, not so much together. But, so I didn't even know what a Klingon was, really. I knew, my brother had been a big Star Trek fan of classic Trek. So I think I'd seen one, and they showed me some clip of a Klingon. So basically, it was one of those, if it ain't on the page, it ain't on the stage kind of thing. What was in the script, I just had to make work and show up and do my best. So I didn't really grab from pretty much anywhere else. Didn't have much context, and again, cast on a Friday, working on a Monday. You just gotta, I mean, I love that element of improvisation. I used to, thousands of years ago, I was in an improv comedy company, and I love the notion that you think there's nothing there, and then there's everything actually there, because someone pushes you off a cliff, and you've got to hit the water and start swimming. So that was as deep as I got. Like I said, I didn't even know what the hell the fight scene was. They just kind of threw me on. Nobody tested to see if I could do any of that. So it was more creative on the spot than anything else for me.
For me, I was as a college student, I played football. I was an outside linebacker, and I don't know what an outside linebacker in American football is equivalent to in European football. But my main goal in life as a linebacker was to, first of all, neutralize the person in front of me, which is very Klingon. And second of all, to ram my head in as quickly as possible into the backfield and anybody standing back there to disrupt anything that might be trying to happen. So I've always said Klingons are basically a race of linebackers. As much as it has probably impaired my memory ability at this age, I assign most of my Klingondom to my experience as a linebacker, and I'll let it stay right there.
We love you guys. JG, Suzie, thank you so much. Please give a warm round of applause to Suzie Plakson and JG Hertzler. Have a wonderful rest of the day. Thank you for everything. Keep the applause.